Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I can't believe it, but we are 49 days, 8 hours, 52 minutes away from kickoff of the Super Bowl. Where did the season go? Where did the season go? You know, I remember starting the clock with like 220 days or 120 days or whatever it was, and just seeming like it was going to take forever to get here. And now, here it is, it's week 16. 3 games left to the regular season, and that's it, and then it's playoffs. Tonight, our Dallas Cowboys, of course, take on the Washington football team for the second time in 2 weeks. And what a difference 2 weeks makes. 2 weeks ago, Washington was on a 4-game win streak in a playoff position, screaming, "We want Dallas." And here it is now, talking to my buddy Rio, who's out of the hospital at home and feeling better. He's like, can you just have the mercy kill? Can you just go ahead and end this tonight for us? I'm just tired of having any hope. I just want it to be done. Just destroy us, please. And I'm hoping that that's exactly what we will do. The crazy thing is yesterday, watching the Browns versus Green Bay. I don't know how it's going to be portrayed this morning. I'm sure they're going to say, oh, there we go, Green Bay Packers, best team in football. You know, they ended up Aaron Rodgers, 3 touchdown passes, their defense, 4 interceptions. I'm going to look at it a little bit differently because that was a game that, in my mind, shouldn't have been anywhere near that close. Baker Mayfield is awful. Baker Mayfield, my God, the interceptions that he threw, they weren't just interceptions. They were awful, horrendous interceptions. They were just plain butt ugly. And the thing about it is he could have had 2 more, but they were literally dropped. It was just like, what are you doing? And the coaching, the crazy thing about that game is if you are a Green Bay Packer, the warning flags should actually come up because the fact that the Cleveland Browns had over 400 yards of offense, including 220 on the ground. They averaged 8.5 yards per rush. Why they didn't stick with the run and just say the hell with Baker, I don't know. But if they can gash that defense, if you're telling me that you got 4 takeaways and you only win by 2 points and that the other team only needed 15 yards to try and get the game-winning field goal, if you're the Packers, you feel good that, hey, we got the division, we got the number 1 seed at the moment, but you need to be a little bit concerned about where you sit. It's just me. Maybe I'm an idiot and all that, but to me, that game shouldn't have been close. And then there's the Cardinals. The Cardinals, wow, what the hell has happened to the Cardinals? 3 weeks ago, they were the number 1 seed, and now they've had 3 losses in a row. And, I kept thinking about the Cardinals, when they were the last undefeated team and everybody was talking about how great they are and, yeah, the Cardinals and things. And I just kept saying, in the back of my mind, I just was not a believer of the Cardinals being that team. And it turns out, it seems like all of a sudden they're not that team as we thought they were. And as you start to dissect the schedule that they had, there's the Jets and the Jaguars, and mixed in those games, there were some games that they had that were some cakewalk ones that make you think that the team is better than what you thought. And all of a sudden, they're free-falling. And now, not only are no longer the number 1 seed, if the Rams win today against the Minnesota Vikings, now the Rams are the leader in the the NFC West. So things change quickly in the NFL. It's insane how quickly that changed and they imploded. But here it is for the Dallas Cowboys. We're playing at home. We've gone through, and as much as people talk about the Cowboys and, they need to have a December to remember, you know what? I'm going to remember that right now we are 3-0 in December, having won 3 games on the road, something that's difficult to do. In fact, something nobody else has done this season, which is win 3 games on the road in a row. Cowboys did that. It wasn't pretty, but we did that. Now, for us, we've got a few cases of COVID in there. Unfortunately, Malik Hooker is going to be out. Jordan Lewis is going to be out. But this is going to give some opportunity to get some more experience and get some more playing time for others. Fortunately, Donovan Wilson is back. And you'll remember Donovan Wilson was set to be our guy at safety this season, but unfortunately has had a whole bunch of different injuries that have kind of slowed the season down. But he's back today, so we don't really have a major step off. And Maurice Kalady is also back. Both of them have been activated off the IR, which is good news for us. What will also happen is now Boss Man Fat, will actually get his opportunity to play more because of Jordan Lewis being out. So we'll finally get to see him doing more than just being a special teams guy. So we're actually in pretty good shape. The Washington football team, they've got some issues with Antonio Gibson is questionable. Curtis Samuels is questionable, although both of them did make the trip to Dallas. They did get Tyler Heineke back this week as well after literally having 21 players on COVID. But make no mistake about it, this has been a short week for Washington, having played against Philadelphia on Tuesday. Not a lot of time to get practice in, not a lot of time to recover. The advantage should definitely be for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm hoping that we just kind of go out there, do the mercy kill, so to speak, as Rio says, get some good work in, and get out with any injuries. In my mind, all I care about is getting a win and getting out healthy, because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. As bad as Green Bay's defense was at getting gashed, in the end, that game just counts as 1 victory, 0 losses. And that's all that matters in the standings, is that you won. So let's see if the Dallas Cowboys can win this one and stay healthy and get ready for the playoffs. Interesting thing, because, from time to time, people will come up and they'll post things that are kind of like scratching your head kind of things, and they contradict what the perception is. Because I always say there's perception and then there's reality. There's perception is a perceived thing, that Tony Romo was a choker. That was a perception. The reality was, at the time, he had more comeback victories than anybody else. You can believe something to be the truth, and in reality, the numbers prove that it's actually not. So when we have people that say Dak Prescott is a garbage-ass quarterback, Dak Prescott sucks, that they'll take anybody. I've heard people after Baltimore almost won the other night, Huntley. Let's get Huntley. Let's let Dak walk. Let's trade for Huntley. I've heard people say, get Jimmy G. Oh, man, I'd rather have Jimmy Garoppolo because he's a real quarterback. I've heard so many different things. But here is actually a fact. Here is a fact for you. Since 2016, that would be Dak Prescott's rookie year, there's only 3 quarterbacks that have passed for 1,500 yards, had 100 touchdowns, and 40 or less interceptions. 3 guys. Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Dak Prescott. I know you can say, well, Pat Mahomes, he's got some more time, longer time than Pat Mahomes has been there. And that's a fair argument. That is a fair argument to say that, some of the young guns haven't been there since 2016, so their numbers won't be there yet. I get that. That's a fair argument. But let's say some of the guys that are out there, that people say, go get Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was there since 2016. Matthew Stafford was there. The GOAT, Tom Brady, he was there. Yeah. That's rarefied air that you have 1,500 yards, 100 TDs, and less than 40 interceptions. Go ahead, haters. Let's see what you got. And let's go to Get Up and see what the Haterade has for us. Will the Cowboys be one and done in the playoffs? Are they not prepared for the playoffs is the discussion. Let's listen to them.
Your reaction to what you just heard from Amari Cooper.
Listen, it's like Kevin Hart say, help me. Amari Cooper, like, I got 100 mil. You gave me 100 mil. I can make plays. Why aren't we getting me the ball? Hey, Kellen Moore, remember Boy Wonder, everybody that all of us loved at the beginning of the season, the next head coach. Let's dial up some plays to get me some looks. Let's get Amari Cooper in some one-on-ones. I know you have CeeDee Lamb, and I know you have Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, but you thought this coming into this season, this team would be great because of its group of skilled players. And so to have one of those skilled players, one, as you mentioned, L, that doesn't speak, and I'm not talking about doesn't speak negatively, he just don't talk at all. So for Amari Cooper to say this, there has to be a problem with this offense, and he wants the ball, he wants to help. Kellen Moore needs to get him involved, and also Dak Prescott.
RC, to your point.
Okay, let me put the one thing I want to do here, because I do like to, part of the reason why I originally started doing the Jobu Sports Report was to try and set the record straight, because the narratives sometimes don't fit the reality. And so when they say Amari Cooper spoke out about getting the ball, this isn't T.O. in his front yard doing sit-ups saying, give me the damn ball. This is not Amari Cooper having his own press conference and coming out and saying, you know, our offense stinks. We've got issues. I need the football. They need to throw it to me more. This was Amari Cooper asked the question. And you have to understand, sometimes the questions are set up to be a loaded question. Are you frustrated, or do you feel frustration from the Dallas Cowboys offensive woes? And he answers that question with, of course, yes, you know, we're all frustrated with, you know, where the offense is. This is not who we believe we should be, that we should be scoring more, especially in the red zone. I think I can be part of the solution to that. If I get more targets and more opportunities, that I believe will do better. That's different than the way it's being portrayed. Follow me? But let's go on.
Point. Amari Cooper, the third highest paid wide receiver in the league and ranks 37th right now in targets. When you hear that, Sacho, what do you think?
Yeah. I think first of all, he's 100% right. Amari Cooper's 100% right. He needs the ball more. And I love the fact that he spoke up, because this is what needs to happen. We heard Jerry Jones say we got to run the ball more. But it's hard to get your top receivers targets if you're being forced to run the ball more. Yes, Kellen Moore is a boy wonder. I believe so. But it's hard to be a boy wonder when the owner, a.k.a. the GM, a.k.a. the president, everything you want to put a title on, Jerry Jones is trying to tell you to do one thing when you know you have so many weapons, a plethora, a cornucopia, an overabundance of weapons that you can't use.
That boy say a cornucopia.
And so for me, it's Christmas season, baby. We're about to have a cornucopia of gifts in this house, Acho household. Anyways,
okay. I'm sorry to keep I'm like him too. Okay. Yes. Running the football. Understand that running the football helps your passing game. Because when a team has to stop the run because you're running well, they're having to put an extra man in the box, which means you have more one-on-one coverage. When a team is worried about you running the football, then that means your run-pass options or your bootlegs become that more effective, because they're getting sucked in to try and stop the run, and you bootleg out, you're getting one-on-one coverage. So the Cowboys have not been very explosive at running the football, and that has also hurt the passing game. Because when teams don't fear the run, when they can say, we can stop it with our front line and not have to put that safety in the box, then you're talking about having the safety being able to double cover a guy like Amari Cooper, in which case you're not going to necessarily get as many targets. But go on.
All I'm saying is this. I love the fact that Amari Cooper spoke up, because if he didn't, no one else will. We would have been sitting here like, man, what's wrong with the Cowboys? Why aren't they winning? We're trying to run the ball on Ezekiel Elliott in his one leg because he's...
Okay, another point. Why aren't they winning? This is the whole narrative of they have been winning. They have won 3 games in a row on the road. They went from being the number 4 seed to the number 2 seed. He literally said, why aren't they winning? They have the second best record in football. But he's saying, why aren't they winning? Why didn't Tampa Bay win against New Orleans, a team that Dallas beat? Why didn't Tampa Bay beat a Washington team, a team that the Dallas Cowboys beat? Why didn't the Cardinals beat the Colts? And why are the Cardinals on a 3-game lose streak? The way they talk about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys offense, you would think it was the Cardinals that are on a 3-game lose streak. But go on.
He's injured. And instead Amari's like, no, guys, I'm available. I'm open. CD's available. He's open. All of us are available and open. Let's make plays, period.
It feels like, are we doing a little Chicken Little here? We're hearing from Amari Cooper. We know that things are not all right in Dallas. But at the same time, guys, they're going to run away with their division. They're clearly going to be in the playoffs. So are we maybe Ninkovich making a little bit – there's a lot of teams right now who we don't exactly know who they are. But once they make it to the playoffs, is it a new ballgame for the Cowboys? You have real concern?
No, I have concern. It's not like you just flip the switch and – I don't know, cornucopia, I have 3 kids, so I know Zootopia, that's about it. But cornucopia, I can't compare that to the Cowboys right now. So I know Zootopia, that's about it. But anyway, when I think about the Cowboys, I think it's going to be, if they do get into the playoffs, it's going to be a one-and-done type run for them. It's really, really hard, and RC knows this. Anybody that's played, it's really, really hard to just flip a switch and be a completely different team. Yeah. You are what you are, and you are what you put on tape. And when I watch tape, they're struggling to throw the football. They're struggling to run the football. I don't know what they are. It's unknown what they are at this point.
It's so interesting you say that, Nick. Yeah, go ahead, RC.
But I'm just saying, you're mentioning run away with the NFC East. We're not viewing Dallas through that prism. We're talking about the championship prism we thought they were on the first 6 weeks. I mean, when you win the NFC East, it's like taking money from the self-defense guy on social media. You know, the dude that grabs the gun, turns the gun hits him upside the head, he take it, then he turn it around. And that's how you do it. That's what the NFC East is. It's about what can they do when you get the Tampa Bays, the Green Bay Packers, the Arizona Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs. And right now, the way that they're playing offense, they can't win games. The strongest unit is now the defensive side of the football. We never would have guessed that.
I'll say this really quickly, though. A couple of years ago, Adam Thielen called out Kirk Cousins, right? Kirk Cousins, interestingly, apologized publicly, and then their relationship seemed to take off from there. So maybe that's all we're waiting for from Dak Prescott is a public admission, that admonishment of being.
Okay, so as I look at the playoff picture and the playoff seeding and everything else, I can see that everybody's got some issues right now. Everybody does. There's nobody who you look at both sides of the ball. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is the bomb. Let's be clear. We know Aaron Rodgers is playing great. Their defense, you got to say, the fact that they gave up those 22 points to a team that had 4 turnovers, 4 bad turnovers, and only won by 2 points, to me says maybe you're not quite as good as you think. But again, you look at Tampa Bay, literally shut out by New Orleans. You look at the Cardinals that are in free fall. The Rams seem to have gotten back into a kilter. We'll see what they do at 1 o'clock against the Rams. It's going to be an interesting Sunday, to say the least. But to say that the Cowboys will be one and done, I don't know how you can say that when you look around the landscape of everything that is. Are you going to say that the Cowboys, which could be the number 2 seed that'll take on maybe Minnesota, Philadelphia, or Washington, that they're going to probably lose to them? I don't see how that happens. But hey, It's football, and anything can happen. I'm going to be getting ready for a live stream. We're going to have probably, I think E2 Blue will be coming in tonight. We'll be live streaming the Eagles versus the Giants game. We'll be keeping an eye out on the Rams game as well, and we'll be following the day. And, of course, we'll be live streaming tonight the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington football team. I'm Mark Holmes, and, well, you know how we roll.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe for the Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is